You're watching Tech Talk in affiliation with Tech for Techs. We're a community that supports independent trade with the help of vendors and distributors. We're live every Thursday at 8 p.m. London time, and we'll be streaming to Facebook and YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You can listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, Google, TuneIn, and many more. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, and your host, Philip Griffiths.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Tech for Tech's Tech Talk, where we help your IT business grow. Today's episode is about relationships with customers, and Ben is actually on tonight, and he's going to be telling us exactly how he pleases his customers with his 3.5-inch floppy drive. Okay, so first of all, we've got Ben on the show. Alison and Will Smith. They're going to introduce themselves in a minute, let you know who they are and everything else about what they do and so forth. But first of all, if you can hear us and see us, let us know so I know we're not just talking to ourselves. Also, let us know where you're viewing from and we'll give you a shout out as well. And if you can, if you're in the Facebook group, click the link I'm going to post in there just in 1 second, and I'll put it on the screen as well. This will allow your name to be shown within the actual chat on the right-hand side of the screen. If you're in the Facebook group, it's just a Facebook thing where they block group members viewing unless you agree to terms and stuff like this. Right, okay, so first of all, we've got Cormy, or Cormac, should we say. We can hear you in my in my Kingdom of Ireland, okay. So I didn't know there was such thing as a Kingdom of Ireland. I suppose there is if it's a king, I suppose. Let's have a look. So we've also got David as well. I'm probably going to get in trouble with the Irish at this rate at one point, but oh well. Right, okay, looks like everyone can hear and see us. So, right, let's start off with Ben. If you want to introduce yourself, Ben, let us know who you are, what you do, and what your tip story is of the day.
Well, good evening, Phil. Yeah, my name's Ben Ashcroft. I run Bugs and Bytes Computing in Lincoln. Not there at the moment, as I'll go into in a minute. But mainly selling refurbished laptops and desktops and gaming PCs, and also supplying laptops to trade customers as well. My tip of the day, or tip of the week, is Windows 11 has been launched this week, no less than 2 days ago, replacing Windows 10, which was launched in July 2015. So I had to double check there quite a while ago. Far higher hardware requirements recommend, or the minimum specs say you have to have an 8th gen processor with TPM 2.0, but it will run on unsupported hardware, with the caveat you may not get updates as time passes by. I believe that Windows 11 is also being rolled out in phases, so older machines that are compatible may not be able to access it as soon as newer machines are. New features include Android apps, snap layouts and widgets, and the look is more akin to Mac OS with the centered taskbar, etc. Windows 10, of course, will still continue to be supported until 2025, when it will become end of life and no more.
Okay, that sounds pretty good, Ben. We'll get to your holiday or your trip in a few minutes, I suppose. Yeah, I've noticed quite a bit of interest, probably not as much interest in Windows 11 as I did when Windows 10 first came out, to be honest, probably because it probably can't be upgraded on as many machines as easy. But there are rumours going around that it does actually cause a few performance issues in gaming on AMD type processors for some reason as well, but apparently they're going to be sorting that out within the next month or so. Let's just go back over to chat. So, yeah, hi, Robert. How you doing, Robert? And evening, Paul. I'm doing well, thank you, Paul. And by the sound of Ben, Will, and Alison, they're doing pretty well as well. But I'll pass you over to Alison now. She can introduce herself and let us know what she's up to, what she does, and what her tip of the day is, or story.
Well, I'm Alison Cook. I am co-director of East Anglian Data Recovery, or better known as EADR, and we're a specialist data recovery company based in Norfolk, although we service clients all over the UK and into Europe. It's not really a tip, it's more of an observation, I would say, but just going back to one of the posts that came yesterday on the site or on the group, the Tech for Tech's Facebook group, concerning mental health and overwhelm. And it was just really something I saw online today about local networking. It seems to be sort of coming to life again, where local face-to-face groups are getting together. And they are, as well as obviously the group that we have here with the tech community, it doesn't take very long for a few negative things in your day to sort of reach the overwhelm point. So I would say get stuck in, connect with local people, because there's always somebody that's there to help with things that you don't like doing, things that you can outsource, things that you not only can sell your business to, but actually will help you out in doing things for yourself. So just reach out and ask for help. Basically, it was a pretty open and honest post, and a lot of people interacted with it, and sort of it resonated. So that would be my advice: is if you haven't already tried local networking, it's now beginning to get to face again. So that might be worth something to look at, to sort of have more of a community feel in your location.
Okay, thank you for that, Alison. Yeah, it does seem like I've seen a lot of people posting recently. They've been to the first local networking events and stuff, so it does seem to be something what is actually starting to kick off again. Hopefully, it doesn't suddenly all stop again for whatever reason, but that's another story.
Yeah.
Right, let's move over to the newcomer of the day. So we've got Will Smith. So, Will, if you want to introduce yourself, let everyone know who you are, what you do, and what your tip, advice, or story of the day is.
I'm Will Smith. As you can see, I'm not the actor. I'm the owner of SMS, PC, and iPhone Repair. As the name suggests, we repair PCs and iPhones. We also buy a lot of laptops off Ben and then sell them on. We do website design as well, printer repairs. My story of the day is to make sure you back up your backups. About 6 weeks ago, Chad had some really bad floods. I had a lot of customers where their computers got ruined and their external hard drives also got ruined. Only one of them had a cloud backup solution. It meant I had to send a couple of drives up to Alison for data recovery. We got everything back that was needed, but just make sure you got backups of your backups.
That sounds pretty good. Some good advice there. Yeah, backups are backups. It's always good to have an off-site backup if it's either a cloud-based or if it's too much information for cloud, to give a friend or family who lives somewhere different, just to give them make sure you've got a backup or something. It's something we always recommend. So, yeah, that's some pretty good advice there. Let's go back over to chat. We've got Facebook users saying, hey, depending on that Facebook user, I'm guessing that I'm guessing that's Nicole Russell. It's sort of an American hey with a wave. So I'm guessing that's Nicole Russell. I'm probably completely wrong, but I'm guessing it is. But if you want to click that link I've put in chat, Nicole, then your name will basically be shown in chat next time you do any comments. I'm probably completely wrong. It's probably someone from completely other side of the world. But right, okay, let's go on to my tip stories and stuff for today. It's not much of a story or tip as such, and what I'm going to make sure you all do is, if you can, if you're watching or you're even watching later, is you go to our website, which is techfortext.co.uk/awards. We do have nominations open now for awards, what we will be giving away later this year. So make sure you go to the website. Again, it's techfortext.co.uk/awards. There are currently distributor and vendor awards you can vote for there. There are a couple of others as well for independents, but we will be posting even more. Let me just read out the full list I've got here, which was on my phone and has just decided to completely disappear. Here we go. So awards include, there we go, for independents, we're going to have best shop front, we're going to get best signage, internal display, shop window, best repair bench. You've also got best website. You've also got car signage or van signage or whatever you use bicycle if you've got a bicycle signage, social media as well, above and beyond award, and a community expert award as well. That's for independents, and the vendor ones and distributor ones are already on there as well. I see a lot of you have already nominated quite a few people for it, so that's quite good to see. I think we've had around about 150 nominations in total up to now, so make sure you do nominate the people you want, because if you don't nominate them, they're not going to win. Simple as that. All the nominations will basically then get put into the final list, basically, and then everyone will be able to vote for their favourite out of that list of whoever it may be. So let's just, for example, say you've got distributor A, B, C, or D, and distributor D gets the most votes. They're going to be the winner. It's simple as that. So it's totally up to you guys who's going to win. The sponsor of the event is actually Tender. Tender are excluded from the awards. Like any other sponsors we do not allow them to win anything, and that includes the admin, which is myself and Jenny. We're not allowed to win anything either. So it's totally down to you. It's not down to who pays the most money, like certain other awards that may be out there, which may have happened last week and so forth, where you usually find out the sponsor of the event usually wins. But there you go. It's totally up to you guys who you vote for, and it's all down to Tender. Tender will be giving the winners a prize as well, and you will also get a physical award. I don't mean just a sheet of paper. You will actually get a physical black trophy type award. Okay, so and that's for the Tech for Techs awards. On top of that as well, we've also got another 5 confirmed vendors going to be coming to the Tech for Techs or the Tech Max event, which is in June next year. Make sure you sign up for that if you haven't already. I've put the link at the bottom, techmax2022.co.uk. I can't name who they are yet, though, unfortunately, because they haven't sent me the logo or descriptions to put on the website. So that goes on top of all the others. So we've got quite a few people who have signed up, and they have yet to send me the descriptions, what I can put on the website to just confirm it and go through. But there will be names you've heard of and so forth. But as soon as I get those names officialized, I will definitely post them up there for you. But if you are wanting to go, we've got around about 25 tickets left for the evening. The daytime, we've still got plenty of tickets for that. So Phil, make sure you do sign up, especially if you want in the evening. It's just £2 for an evening ticket, or if you just want a daytime ticket, it's just £1. Okay, let's go on to the main topic then. So, first of all, what is the main topic? This is Ben's topic, hence why I made the slight joke about his certain measurements and stuff at the beginning of the show of a certain drive. It's about relationships with customers, and I'm hoping it doesn't mean like what everyone's thinking it means. So, right, Ben, what is this topic about? It was your idea, you wanted to do it, and you wanted Will and Alison to do it, apparently. So, you tell me.
It's all about what customers you can get in the bed, Phil, and how often you can do it, right? No, not at all.
That's how you get them to keep coming back, is it?
Yeah, it's absolutely. It's not about the 3.5-inch floppy, it's about the 5.25-inch hard disk. Genuinely, though, on a more serious note, customers are your lifeblood of your business. That sounds so obvious when you say it like that, but customers are your lifeblood of your business. You support your customers will support you. I have to say, Tech for Techs, I've said this to you before, Phil, I'll say it again, Tech for Techs has been an absolutely fantastic group for me personally with my business and growing my business, and the people that I've met through Tech for Techs and who I supply to. For quite a while now, I'd been talking about doing a road trip to come and visit some of my nice customers, my better customers, my more regular customers. I'm currently in Somerset visiting Will. We'd been talking about it for about 18 months.
It's been a long time, yeah. COVID got in the way, didn't it?
Before COVID sort of all kicked off.
Worth the wait.
Oh, I'll pay you after for saying that. So yeah, I thought it would be a good idea to start scheduling some visits into not just customers, but also people I deal with, repair companies. I think you get a far more personal level relationship when you go and visit the customers in person. The main points for me and the main benefits for me, I would say, have been you get to see the shop, the layout, how the shop works, what the atmosphere is like in the shop, because a good atmosphere shop will generally do a lot better than a shop that's got poor atmosphere, a lot of tension in it. I have to say SMS PC is a shining example. The staff are really good, they work really well together. I've also personally found working from home can be a bit solitary, and you go through the motions. You pick up the phone and you phone people, and you sell and you buy. You chat on Messenger. It's just not the same when you're actually in the same room. You can sit down, have a pint or two, or maybe even three. And yeah, you get to know the person you're dealing with more, and it makes you more human to them, as well as making them more human to you, and they can relate more to you, I think. So
yeah, I agree with you there, Ben, about meeting people. We always find it interesting when we meet people at events, or either they pop in the store or whatever. As I know, people in the trade, you get a better relationship with them in the long term. I think you get a real feeling of who they are. You can only do so much over the phone or via text and email. It's I must agree, you're definitely on the right track with that one.
Yeah, and it's usually the folk that you get on really well when you're messaging that you'll get on really well with in person, which so far has been the case, I have to say. I've also had the pleasure. It's a very rare TFT show tonight, Phil. I've had the pleasure of meeting all of you in person. I met Alison at the Target Open Day a couple of years ago, and we also met last week. Had a bit of business breakfast with some of the Lincolnshire TFT members. And I met you at the Target Open Day as well, I think it was, Phil, a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, and we're all still talking, so there must be something in that.
You just started your business then, hadn't you?
Say again, sorry?
You'd only just literally started your business then, hadn't you?
I
not been long.
Been running my business probably about 8-9 months by the time we met at the Target Open Day. Yeah. And I mean, that sort of thing, the Open Day was another great sort of builder for the business, as well as always the Tech Protect group. The Target Open Day was great. You pick up new names, suppliers, customers, that sort of thing, you know. I think one of the other advantages is with doing the shop visits, you can see ways perhaps that you can help that shop out, products maybe that you could supply them that you're not already currently supplying them, or maybe they're already getting it from someone they're perhaps not so happy, or you might be able to do a better deal and you get more business, you help them more, that sort of thing as well, you know. It's I mean, I don't personally currently do console repairs, but I'm quite happy to pass the console repairs straight on direct to Will, and him and his staff can do them. And
yeah, just from you being down for a day, you've already helped me shift a stack of old dead laptops I was going to let go dirt cheap. I was trying to do your shirt embroidery. You're going to send a console down to me.
Yeah, that's it. You know, it's the sort of stuff that you can do in person that you can't necessarily don't know about without actually being there in person, or you can't help with because you've not seen it, that sort of thing, you know. You can also go a bit more in depth in some of the conversations you have about the business. You can ask them for trends of the business, stuff that you wouldn't necessarily ask over Messenger. You can ask maybe trends of the business, or ask even as far as sort of the figures like profit, loss, whatever, you know, how they're doing. You get a bit of idea as a supplier how they're doing. And yeah, so generally just a big plus. And I have to say, people are very accommodating as well.
We've got a strong kind of trust between us as well, don't we, Ben? You obviously you let me do half an invoice, and when I purchase laptops, then the other half when you come down. It's really helped with the cash flow side of things.
Yeah.
And then even when you're down, you helped me make a sale to the alarm company for 2 laptops, gave me a deal.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I have to say, I don't do that to I wouldn't do that to a new customer. Sort of half an hour, half later, but
yeah,
a good level of trust between us. You know, we've obviously been dealing now for a couple of years and that. You know, always been very happy, I think, with my stock, and yeah,
we have a very prosperous relationship for both of us, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And
That's good.
Yeah, I think the other thing is as well, it's good because you can have a bit of bonding over perhaps dare say a bit of alcohol. There's the professional side. I think that's great, particularly you and I, Will. We have a great professional relationship, and then we can sort of just switch off and go straight to sort of having a bit of chat and a bit of banter, and be able to go out and have a drink, and then come back and switch back to the sort of professional relationship the next day. You can't do that with all customers. I personally, my own struggle is dealing with corporate customers because I'm not a shirt and tie corporate man. The most you'll see me in is my Bugs and Bites polo shirt at most times, you know. So I struggle with more corporate customers. I do deal with them because I almost feel like there's a slight barrier there with the corporate customers. They just want to sort of get the work done, order the goods, and move on. Whereas I think you can have a far better relationship.
Ben, you probably put them off wearing shorts as well.
Your legs on display.
The legs on display, that was meant to be the main selling point, Phil, you know. But
I think,
Not for the corporate
maybe
business.
with the corporate side of things, though, or for you, if you're experiencing that, is that the beauty in building relationships with your clients is that they become more than just a transaction. You know, there's a whole backstory to it, and with the corporate, like you say, if it's just, you know, buy, supply, and you're out again, you don't get that chance to build up the rapport as much unless they become a repeat customer.
Yeah.
And the way you get the repeat customer is to do a good job. They come back to you, and then so forth. So you will find that may build eventually with that corporate, but it is never going to be probably quite as friendly as what you have with someone, say like Will, where you've gone down, you've met them in person, and you know a little bit more about the back history of the business and how it all ticks. Whereas with a corporate, you wouldn't see that side so much.
Yeah, I have to say it's been really rewarding coming down and visiting the shop and meeting all the staff, because I only knew of, like, there's well, six folk in the shop. Will.
Oh, yeah. So,
Really on the spot there.
6 when we're fully manned, but there's normally about 3 or 4 of us on at all times.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, I've only ever dealt mainly with Will and with Tyler that work at the shop. And I've got to meet all the other staff as well who have been there, which has been really nice.
Alex, didn't you? Luke came in earlier, but unfortunately you had gone by then. I think you were at Perry Cider Farm.
Thanks for that, Phil. Well, brother. But yeah, it's also quite empowering as well when you go to the shop and you see your stock being displayed in lovely displays, Phil. And yeah, I think of all my customers, if you're ready, Phil, with that lovely picture, I think of all my customers, I've never had someone who's prayed to my stock with their own little stock shrine, I have to say. You got Will doing the prayers to the Bugs and Bites computing stock and his dog Marley. So
it helps the sales come in when I pray to it every now and then.
I have a feeling that you guys have probably been on the siders a bit early when you took that picture by the looks of it. But
no, not at all, not at all. But
that was actually sober.
The other thing I was going to say, Phil, is it's quite empowering when you go to the shop and you see your stock there and how it's being presented to customers in a good way. And the other thing is, Will has bought a lot of stock off me for their own office use. And the fact that they're using the same stock in the office as what they're selling, is also a great thing as well. It's a great selling point for them because they're selling stuff that they use themselves. Yeah, it's great to see. It's quite rewarding as a business owner to go and see that sort of thing. And yeah,
I've found that quite often with different vendors and distributors we work with. You tend to find you build up more of a relationship with one person, the sales rep, whoever it may be, and you tend to follow them around rather than the company they're working for a lot of the time. So sometimes you'll build up, let's just say, Hits, who's been on the show before, who works for CMS Distribution at the moment. He used to work with Gigabytes, where I first met him, built up a relationship with him, and then he moved over to CMS probably about a year or so ago now. And I probably deal with CMS more than I would, for example, Gigabyte. Well, to be honest, Gigabyte these days, it's pretty much trying to get hold of them is pretty much a no-go, to be honest with you. So I think sometimes dealing with these bigger companies, it's down to the person you're dealing with and the reputation you've got with them rather than the company as a whole. I think Ben's lost his camera. He's been having a few camera issues, so hopefully he'll get that back up and running. I think he's just relogging at the moment. So, right, okay, let's just go through chat then. So let's have a look. We've got Paul saying that he totally agrees with Will. Just had to have this hard conversation with a customer. Only had their family photos stored on an old laptop hard drive. Yeah, I must admit, I do agree with that one as well. I would tell him Cormac, but unfortunately he's disappeared. He should be back soon, hopefully. But we'll let him know. He's probably saw it anyway. And we've got Robert. He's writing an essay. So at the beginning of lockdown, we chose to only look after the customers who had used us for years. This way we looked after the people we ultimately had paid for our wages over the last years. Yeah, I totally agree with that one. I'm not going to read the whole thing out, but yeah, looking after those who've helped you in the past. Obviously, we always prioritise our past customers over new ones, unlike a lot of these big companies, which will always give the offers to the brand new customers and then basically stick the prices up if you're an old customer. It seems to be a common thing with electric companies, which is a big thing in the news at the moment, and obviously telephone and mobiles and stuff like that. Right, let's go over to Alison then. So, Alison, what sort of things could you advise people on with getting a relationship with a customer? How could they improve things to get them obviously coming back to yourself or whatever you think?
I think, I mean, listen really is a big thing, because you can really sort of absorb quite a lot of information about how a person works and what they're looking for by listening, rather than sort of force feeding a sort of set pattern. If a customer wants you to deal with the end user, then you know that's what they want. Alternatively, listen to whether they feel it's best for them for them to do white label, for example. So it's just explaining options and giving the customer choice of how to work things so it suits them the best, really. And obviously, if you do a good job for them, then they do your advertising for you at the end of the day by recommendation. We had something that came up today where we did a case for somebody over in Bedfordshire, and I always ask, well, how did you hear about us? And apparently our name was on a We Love Bedfordshire kind of Facebook group from somebody else that we'd worked with that picked us up, and we did a good job for them. And she went and found that post after sort of bookmarking it. So you absolutely never know where you're going to get recommendations from. So if you do a good job, then people will come back and they will sort of say favourable things. But yeah, I think you just sort of have to look after people as best you can, and just be transparent about it, because obviously if they've got questions, then just answer them to the best of your ability and don't sort of try and fluff it. And if they can come to you and they feel that they can trust you with questions, then they're more likely to come back to you when they need your help to actually go through with a case. I mean, we speak to an awful lot of people over the course of a week, month, that it might not be right for them right now, and that doesn't matter, because if you treat them right when you're speaking to them, whether it's a supplier, a trade customer, or somebody that's been recommended or that's found you on Google, if you do the right thing by them when they first speak to you, when they're ready, they'll come back and they'll buy from you because you've done it right.
Okay, that's pretty good. Let's go on to you, Will. Do you have anything you would like to add into that, as in your relationship with customers? And I don't mean like Ben's special relationships. I want about work-style relationships.
Honesty with the customer, and we really pride ourselves on customer service, and so we've really got a name for ourselves around Shard. We've got a local Facebook page, and anytime a question comes up about computer repair, phone repair, where to buy a laptop, we get tagged in it. Me personally, my colleagues, the page 5 or 6 times above everyone else. And we just treat our customers right. We're always fair to them. We're honest. We have an SSD guarantee at the moment as well, because we pride ourselves on our services so much. It's so easy to sell them. So if a customer has an SSD upgrade, we'll give them 30 days. If they're not happy with the speed, we'll give them the money back, because you can't go wrong when you've got an old laptop spinner compared to an SSD. And it's just working out what's right for them. We value their laptop and say if it's worth upgrading it or if it's worth getting a new one. If we don't have one in stock, we'll recommend them to get a new one online, and we'll say, we can set it up for you. Sometimes my customers call me from Curry's PC World because we don't have something in stock. They want it right now. And so I say, just give me a call, make sure they're not going to sell you something that you don't need. And then they come straight to me, have me remove all the bloatware. And it's just being flexible to give them whatever they need.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Have you got your camera sorted now then, Ben?
Yeah, I think it must be a browser issue. It's done on 2 different browsers. I've switched to Brave browser, and that should hopefully sort me out now.
Right, we'll see how it goes. Right, okay. One of the things I always find what helps, obviously, with this sort of thing, and again, I've mentioned it before, is obviously consistency with how you do things is always a good thing to obviously help your relationship with your customers. If you're consistent in giving the same level of everything, whether it's answering the phone and you always give that consistent welcome, you deal with every customer the same way, no matter how they look and so forth, then I'm pretty sure you'll obviously do better. I'm going to say, for example, even having things like flow sheets or worksheets where you can basically you have a form what you basically go down like a checklist, basically saying what that you've done this, done that, and done this on each job you do, including cleaning it, bagging it up, sanitizing it, and so forth. It just makes it sure everything's consistent. So when the customer comes back in next time, they get exactly the same service for what they paid for last time, and they don't think they shortchanged because you didn't do one of the tasks what you did last time or whatever. So being consistent, I always find, is a big thing in everything. And I always say this to everyone: consistency is key, and I believe that is you have to be very consistent in everything you do. But otherwise, people start to go, "Hey, that's not right. What have they done wrong this time, or what are they trying to scam me for, or whatever?" If you're consistent with customers, they generally do find that you do come back. Right, let's go to Ben next. I know you've missed out a few of the bits and bobs there with you on and off and so forth. But how else do you build relations with customers?
You try and look out for them basically, and try and look after them as best you can. For instance, if I know there's a certain type of laptop that I stock that a certain customer likes and another customer doesn't mind too much about, I'll try and keep some stock of that machine in for when they're reordering. Well, you love your Dell Latitudes.
Love my 5570s.
You love your 5570s. Everyone loves the 5570s, it seems. So when I know Will's coming up to reorder, I'll usually buy a couple of back in stock because, yeah, you get to know your customer, you get to know what your customer likes, what your customer doesn't like. I've got customers who can't stand HPs, and I've got other customers who love HPs. So it balances itself out. It's quite good, quite easy. So.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Comment from Cormac, what's just come in. Another good one is be honest with your pricing. Yeah, that's brilliant. Don't hide your pricing. You could make it visible or just either on your website if you really wanted to. You can obviously have it clear in your store or on a TV screen in your store so people know obviously what sort of pricing you charge. Obviously, you can't always be exact because obviously parts can charge different prices for parts depending on laptops, but you can give them a ballpark idea. Nothing worse than when you go on a website and you go, I need a new whatever for my car, and then you look up and it's like, oh, bring it in and we'll tell you what sort of price it is. You sort of rather go and find a website what says, yeah, it's going to be 500 quid, even though the other one might have been cheaper. You'd probably go to the one that actually tell you what the price was straight away, but rather than having to dig around. So a good idea of being honest with your pricing is a pretty good thing, to be honest with you. It does seem like you're not hiding anything and you're not trying to rip anyone off and giving everyone a different price. Another one from Cormac, again, is busy tonight. Answer your phone. Answer your phone or ring them back. Why people hate using the big stores is no one answers. Yeah, that's true. Again, communication with your customers, definitely. I agree with that, Cormac, is communicate with them. There's nothing better than face-to-face, but telephone is next best. Obviously, if you have to use, obviously, email or text or whatever it may be, but generally you will find that face-to-face or even phone conversation does work a lot better.
It's surprising how... oh, sorry, after you, Alison.
No, it's fine. Go on, you go.
I was going to say, it's surprising how many customers I call back that have left a voicemail. I've just missed a call, and they seem genuinely surprised I've given them a call back, and they say, thank you for calling me back. This is urgent. And I think they've called around a few places before, get no answer, never get a call back. They call us 5 minutes later. We either answer the phone straight away, or we just give them a call back, find out what their issue is, and they're in the door within an hour. So it's just so important.
There's nothing more frustrating than when you've got a problem and you need it sorted and someone's not picking up because they don't hang around. And we all work really, really hard at our marketing. You know, we spend time doing Facebook posts or stories or blog posts or being present on social media to attract customers. And the last thing you want to do is just not be there when they ring you. You know, you've done all the groundwork and then you just don't do the critical thing of picking the phone up and answering an inquiry. And, you know, that few minutes that you miss the call could be the case between getting the deal or not. So yeah, Cormac's right. You really need to keep on it. And if you are consistently busy, or perhaps you work on site a lot and can't get to the phone, may even be worth getting a phone answering service or something, just so people are picking up your messages, and then you can get them funneled back to you by email. And oh, so and so wants a call, it's urgent, or so and so is not quite so critical, you could ring them later in the day. But yeah, I just don't miss your inquiries if they're coming in.
Especially if, God forbid, something goes wrong with a repair or a sale, and then they call you back and something's gone wrong and you don't answer the phone. That could be a real deal breaker for them if they suddenly want to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
But if you pick up the phone straight away, you say, "Don't worry, I'm going to handle it." They come in, you fix it. They'll probably leave happy and even leave you a good review.
Yeah.
Yeah, communication is a big thing, and as Alison was saying, people spend fortunes on advertising and don't do the simple things, answer the actual call or reply to people when they actually get in contact. And it's like, you think how often the likes of BT or Sky or Virgin are advertising on TV, this, that, and the other, but when you try and call them and get hold of them, you can't. And it's like, well, you've just wasted your advertising budget because we can't get through to you. So yeah, do definitely agree on that one. Right, let's go back to Ben then. Anything else you've got to add to that, Ben? How do you improve your relationships with customers?
I think flexibility is key. I think flexibility is absolutely key. If you've got a customer who's spending a lot of money, not that the customers who don't spend a lot of money aren't worthy, because they absolutely are worthy. Again, I'm probably more talking from a trade perspective here, supplying the shops. Flexibility is key. Yes, you have a limited warranty on products that you sell, whether it be 1 month, 3 months. If that customer is coming back and reordering and buying from you a lot, and they come back to you and say, "Look, I've got an issue with a product and it's slightly out of warranty, what can you do?" You're going to do what you can to help them out. If that means taking the old hit and replacing a unit that's only a couple of days out of warranty, we do it, because you want to keep those guys on side, right?
Yeah, that's definitely good bit of advice there. Anyone else got any views on that?
Just think of the bigger picture, like Ben says. Sometimes it's worth doing that, going that little bit extra to help somebody out that is a repeat customer, because you've worked really hard to get them on side with you, and to lose them over something so minor as a couple of days out, you've got to think of it as long term. That's
You'll
what
gain a lot of
is.
respect from them as well.
Yeah.
When you help them out.
I think a lot was about accepting the situation, and it might not be an ideal situation, but you, like you said, Alison, you sort of find a way, you get through it, sort of thing. It's I think one of your first orders, well, we spoke about this the other day, arrived, and no fault my own, I packed it well, but it was a bit bashed up, the box was a bit bashed up, and you sort of said about that to me, and I said, "Well, look, I'm really sorry it's happened. I didn't just sort of pan it off." And you said that's one of the reasons you kept coming back and buying again, because you sort of said, you didn't just say, "Oh, tough luck, that's it."
Yeah, if you just said the content's fine, well then, why are you messaging me? I would have thought, well, I'm not going to use you again. But you understood my concern straight away, explained it, and everything was fine, so we carried on.
Yeah, life's life. Crap happens with the
I think it's those sort of moments that really bond you and your customer, when something goes wrong and you're both in the doo-doo, but then you come together and obviously you offer that solution, and then they're going to think, well, I know he's going to look after me then.
Yeah, that's pretty good advice there. One of the things I find what works good, and we always get lots of comment on, is proactive advice. So that's obviously not advice, giving people advice when something's go wrong. It's you give them advice before, so it might be just tips and tricks how to do stuff, either in email, do a monthly email, or even bi-weekly or something like that, or even on social media, put posts on telling people how to do things. So don't make it all about sales, make it more advice, like, oh, Windows is 11 out, what do you need to know, what are the shortcuts, how do you access the start menu, or even make the start menu look more like it did before, or how do you get the right click options on which are not there anymore, and stuff like that. So sometimes being proactive, I don't mean telling them how to fix the computer full stop, but just giving them enough as a taste of that you actually feels like you're actually interested in what they're wanting. So even advice on backing up and stuff like that, and you can always say at the bottom of the email or the message, if you are interested in learning more or purchasing backup devices, let us know. And you do get a lot of comments from that proactive advice, as I like to call it, because you're sort of advising them before something could go wrong. So especially if it's time for spring cleaning or Christmas is coming up or there's certain scams around, let them know. You're giving them free advice. It only takes you 5 seconds to share something off of Crime Stoppers or something like that. It doesn't take you long to do, and you can even schedule a post for every day if you wanted to on social media, and it's pretty easy to do at this day and age. So yes, be proactive. So write killer emails or some decent social media. Right, let's have a look. Cormac, it's Cormac night tonight, I think. We should have just had Cormac on the show, shouldn't we? So keep in contact with them while they are doing the work and keep them updated about costs. Anytime we send to Alison, always gives us a great feedback about her communication skill. Yeah, so basically, yeah, Alison, I've worked with Alison a few times when we've sent stuff over for repair or tell the customer to contact her directly, and that's one of the things is we always hear back from the customers who say, yeah, the place you sent us to, they were in contact, let us know how much everything was going to be, they managed to sort us out, so everyone's been very happy. So anyone who does need data recovery, hint, Alison's the person to speak to. Bear in mind that our other data recovery companies are out there. I'm just mentioning Alison because we do use her herself, and she's actually on the chat at the moment, so don't get any worked up because I didn't mention you because you're with a different company and you're watching for any reason. Right.
You're right, though, Phil. It doesn't stop there. I mean, obviously, like you say, we don't tend to get the bit that you were talking about with the proactive bit, because generally when people come to us, it's that ship has already sailed. So yeah, we're trying to sort them out really and get them out of a muddle. But quite often it's a case of, well, what do I do now? How do I prevent this happening again? And that's when we give them the advice. And they've got sheets that we send back with them. We talk to them about what to put put a regime in place to make sure it doesn't happen again. But not only that, we refer them back to the techs that refer them to us in the first place. So it becomes a sort of a dual sort of reciprocal thing where we recommend back into the tech community for somebody that can help them either set up a NAS or arrange an online backup service or something. So it does work both ways, and it's really nice to do. Whether they take the advice, again, remains to be seen.
Yeah, we all know what customers are like with advice sometimes, so I won't go much more on that, just in case there's any watching. But yeah, so not always is advice listened to, and you can do certain things over and over again because people just don't listen, I must admit. Right, another thing I find, and see what you guys think about that. This is feedback. So asking the customers for feedback, whether it's either an email out after you've done a job or text or however your systems work, and actually ask them, okay, could we done anything better? Did everything perform exactly how it should and so forth? Is that something you tend to do, Alison?
Yes, we do. We write to customers or clients about a week after a case to make sure we've got everything back for them okay, they've received everything okay, they understand how the device works. We always offer to talk them through how to get the data back from the portable device onto their system. Any questions about the encryption side of it all. So we do try and hold their hand once it's done at the other end. It doesn't just stop at we've recovered the data now, see you later. It becomes so that they can come back to us with questions, and they frequently do. We do have the inevitable happen where they don't do as they're advised, they don't back the stuff up when we get it back to them, and 3 months down the line it's a case of, well, this is not working now, they've yanked the cable out or they've done something and they have a corrupt drive. But we have helped them out, and we would help them out if we can. So that's what we do. But always we send a letter out and say, look, how do we do? Is everything okay? And we invite them to leave a review. And luckily, they've all been favourable. They do, if there is something that we missed or we could have done better, then they do tell us. But we try, because we because everything is, we're ISO accredited, we put ourselves through that about 5 years ago, which is very much a process-driven thing where we work to a certain standard. A bit like you were saying earlier, Phil, with the tick sheets where you do a certain thing in a certain way. So that's what we do for our clients. They know that we're ISO accredited. So part of the process is to just obviously monitor the situation stage by stage, and we never move on to the next stage until they're happy with the stage we're at. So it does help you if you work through with the client all the way along, that they're always happy at each level, and you iron out any sort of queries or anything as you go along, and hopefully by the end then you'll have got to the conclusion that you're both looking for, which is recovered data, client happy. But yeah, we always do ask for feedback afterwards. It is vital because you're not going to know where you're going wrong, where you can improve, and everybody needs to or can improve.
That's true. That's very, 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 very true. What about yourself, Ben? Do you ask for feedback or anything along that lines other than bribing people with cider?
Oh, the cider just wins out every time, Phil. If it's an end user, yeah, I'll usually give them a shout normally about a week after the bottom machine, even if it's just drop them a text message or give them a phone call, make sure they're happy with the product they bought from me. I'll ask them to leave me a review if they're happy, and if they're not happy, I'll ask them what can I do to sort things out and make them happy, And again, with the trade customers, I'm usually in fairly constant contact with them anyway because they tend to be more repeat customers. So, yeah, it's good.
Okay, no problems. What about yourself, Will? What do you do regarding feedback?
So we have these little review cards on the front of the desk. We always ask people, here's your machine. Is there anything else you might need? You can always contact us via phone, email. We offer remote support as well. And then we also do like a little follow-up email a week after or a phone call and just say, hope you're getting on well with your machine. If we did like a reinstall or an SSD, we just say, is all your data still there? Because we still have your old hard drive. You've got 30 days and then it will get destroyed. But let us know if anything's missing, if you need any help installing your programs. Is there anything else we could have done? Could it have been faster? Would you like more updates? But generally, we just get it's all great. It was nice and fast. We're going to recommend you. And I can't believe I wasn't on an SSD earlier.
No problem. That sounds pretty good. Just replying to Johnny Davis in chat. What's the best PC for under £1,000? Best thing for you to do is go to your local independent store and have a word with them. Only catch at the moment, there is a huge issue getting hold of graphics cards, so obviously there may be a delay or price hikes because of that. It's not due to the independent stores, it's down to basically a lot of it shipping and production all the way in China, Taiwan, or wherever they get made these days. So best thing to do, go to your local independent store and double check with them. But the pixel monitors are pretty good, but if you are doing 4K gaming, depends on the game, you may need to spend a little bit more than £1,000. Right, okay, so let's have a look. We've got about 13 minutes left. If anyone else in chat has got any comments regarding relationships with customers, and I don't mean getting them to bed or anything like that to please them, it's got to be how to actually get them to come back to you. Obviously, if you do that, well, that's up to you. But that's not really the sort of content we're looking for. And Johnny, would it be best to wait for a few months? Maybe things could get worse. I think shipments for graphics cards next year are even going to be even worse, in all honesty. So again, who knows? You've got Christmas coming up. Prices, I would expect, are probably going to go up, and it also depends a lot on Bitcoin prices as well. As if their prices keep going up as they have been, the price of graphics cards generally will keep going up in price as well. Right, okay, so let's go around the room again. Alison, do you have anything you would like to add on to relationships with customers?
I think we just have to focus on offering the best service we can. I know that if you can offer them good value, if they can see that they're getting something good from it, and just make it easy for them to buy from you or to use you. Like we've already said, be responsive to messages. Will's already touched on that. If you can answer them quicker than the next person, you'll get the job, basically. But yeah, I think if you focus on giving more rather than taking money off, that's probably the best way around it. But yeah, I just think if you do a good job, they will come back to you and they will recommend you, and just be transparent about everything that you do.
Okay, sounds pretty good. And to you, Will, do you have anything else you'd like to add on to the conversation before we end it for tonight?
We always get really talky with our customers at the front desk so we can understand their needs, their wants, their situation. Do they have kids at home? Do they have multiple computers? Would they benefit from like a multi-user antivirus? New computer? Do they use it for work? Do they use it for play? What's their budget? Just try and make sure that we know exactly what they want, exactly what they need, so we can give them the best service possible. And we also give away some extra like goodies because we do phone repairs. We've got a new Hydrodel screen cutter, works better than tempered glass. Only costs us about 98p for one of those sheets. So we just say, do you have a mobile phone? We'll fit one of these free for you. If you like it, tell your friends about it. They can come back and have one done for a £5 or a £10. And just like selling your other services, letting them know exactly what else you do, and just giving your all. Like Alison said, give more. Don't try and charge less.
So get more value. That's a pretty good advice there. And to you, Ben, have you got anything else you'd like to add on the conversation?
I think at the risk of repeating myself, Phil, I'll go back to what I said at the start of the show, which is customers are your lifeblood. If you look after them, they'll look after you, whether that be on price, whether that be on product, whether it's customer service. You look after your customers, and yeah, they look after you.
Sounds pretty good. So basics is then, so I think it's going to be obviously reward with value or loyalty, establish trust, a few of the notes I've put down, blow away the customer service expectations, seek feedback and be consistent. All those sort of things seem to help. So it's not just one thing what works, it's obviously everything mashed together. So
the thing is, Phil, if you think about it, we all have a service that's not, our service itself is not unique. It's just the way that we deliver it, and that's what makes us unique in our businesses. Is not there's lots of IT support companies, there's lots of computer repair centres, there are other data recovery companies, but it's all the way that we do it and who we are as people, and that's what they buy into. So that's really the sort of personality side of things as well will come into it.
That's some good advice there. Some of the things I've seen, a good one because he's on the show and he'll like the shout out is Cormac. One of the things he does when he's sending out laptops, what he's sold and stuff, is sweets with them and stuff like that. And that's Haribo, and it seems to work for him. So sometimes it's just finding that thing what makes you a little bit different. And I'm pretty sure Cormac is a bit more than a little bit different to the rest of us.
I have to confess to that one, Phil. That was a lovely comment by Cormy there, I have to say as well, the one that's just posted. But I have to say I'm guilty of the sweets. I think, quite often I put boxes of chocolates in my...
I get a dairy box every now and then.
That's why you keep going back and buying. Well, it's nothing to do with the computers.
A little love heart box of chocolates.
I don't know. Right, okay, we do have a show next week apparently, and this one's been organised by Ben as well. So Ben, do you want to let us know what's going off next Thursday at 8 o'clock?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot here, Phil. So one of the stops on my many, not so many Tech for Tech tour. It started off many. It's ended up being about 6 different people now. Is with Eurosoft PC Check in Bournemouth, and we're basically going to be doing a show of PC Check now versus PC Check back then. The latest Windows version of PC Check versus the legacy DOS PC Check, and how it's sort of moved on, the changes since way back then. So yeah, I'll be talking with Sharon Richards. Sorry,
Richards, I think it is. But
Thank you. I know. Tip of my tongue there. Yeah, Sharon Richards will be going and meeting them and having a confab with them. So yeah.
I think it's Richards. I might be complete. Yeah, Richards, Sharon Richards. So yeah,
That's really
so
bad.
you got that right. So that'll be next Thursday at 8 p.m. So part of it's going to be pre-recorded and part of it's going to be live, is it, or is it all going to be live?
Yeah, the main show. I'm seeing Sharon on Monday, so we're going to pre-record the main show, and then we're going to have a live Q&A after the main show.
Right, okay, so it's a semi-live show, let's put it that way. Yeah. But obviously everyone's able to comment throughout and so forth, as usual, and obviously we answer any questions going through. So that'll obviously be myself, obviously, because I'll be hosting it. There'll be Ben on there, and we'll have Sharon as well from Eurosoft, or also known as PC Check, on the show, and I'm not sure if she's having any of her minions on with her or anything, but
I think Jim from her office may also be coming on the show as well. So
he'll be called a minion. I'm pretty sure of that. Right. So, okay, guys, I think that's pretty much it for tonight. So what we'll do is see you all next Thursday. Make sure you tune in. If you haven't already, make sure you go and vote for the Tech for Tech Awards. There will be more placed up over the next week. So that's techfortechs.co.uk/awards. And if you haven't registered for TechMax yet, the address is on the screen as well. That's techmax2022.co.uk. Get to see up to 500 other independent resellers, traders, and so forth, just like yourself. There'll be vendors there, distributors, hopefully some really big names what have said they're coming, but we've got to finalise a few things with them. As you all probably know, getting any big company to say yes to anything and agree to anything takes its time, but we've got quite a few announcements to make over the next couple of weeks once a few of them actually send us the correct details. But otherwise, we will see you next week, again, 8 p.m. If you want to join Tech for Techs, you can do, and if you don't know anything about us, just visit our website, which is techfortechs.co.uk/join. You can join up with over 1,200 and I think 90 members now, so which are all independent resellers, vendors, distributors, MSPs, so forth. Totally free to join. Just make sure you fill in the information. So if you don't fill in the information about agreeing to the rules or your email address and your business name, we just won't let you in. And we've got around about 50 members pending because you haven't bothered filling your information in, and we won't let you in until you do. And then after a month, we basically decline you. So make sure you fill in the questions. But otherwise, we'll see you all next week, which is Thursday at 8 p.m. See you later.